SoFi stock has been on a huge run for the past 3 months. In fact, the stock has ran up over 150% since I made this video a few months ago, where I went through why this stock is such a huge opportunity and why I was loading up on SoFi stock. SoFi stock hit $17.20 in December, which is the highest price since 2021. But the important question now is, can that rally continue, and can SoFi become the millionaire maker that we all believe it can be? I also have one small warning for investors later in this video. If you follow the stock, then you know just how much SoFi is growing, but for most of 2024, SoFi stock had been dropping despite the company doing better than ever and making better profits than before. But in the past 3 months, the stock has exploded. So what is going on? And has SoFi finally turned the corner for good? Stick around to discover how you can make the most of this pivotal moment in SoFi's history. Now we've got a lot to get through in this video, so I will try to keep this intro short. But if you find any value in this video, can I ask you to smash the like button? It literally costs nothing, but it helps me out so much. I'm aiming to get 500 likes on this video. Help me achieve that goal. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new content like this. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice, so always do your own due diligence and try to answer the question later in this video. But for now, let's get straight into it. So SoFi is a fintech that offers a range of lending and wealth management services. The company primarily caters to early stage professionals and offers variable and fixed rate parent, personal and MBA loans, mortgage refinancing and more. They create modern financial products and services that help people borrow, save, spend, invest and protect their money better so they can achieve financial independence and realize their ambitions, which could be owning a home or saving for retirement, paying off their student debt and much more. So SoFi is a fintech company that is positioning itself as a one-stop shop for all your personal finances. Now I see so many people commenting on SoFi, calling the company a startup and treating this like a company that was just founded. But SoFi was founded more than a decade ago in 2011, and a lot of people seem to be thinking that this company has only really existed since going public less than 4 years ago. But the fact is that this company was a decade old before it was listed on Nasdaq. It's still a growth company with huge potential and still at the very early stages and where you consider digital banking is at the moment. But this is not a risky startup that is only in its very beginning. This is well established. And fintech is one of the most promising megatrends which will disrupt the way we go about obtaining financial services. So considering the promising fintech industry's prospects, together with SoFi's strong execution, I think that the company is poised to become a notable player in the evolving banking industry. When we look at the latest investors presentation, this presents a very different picture of the company than what Wall Street have tried to show us over the past 18 months. In fact, this is a company that is doing extremely well with regards to almost every sector of the business. New member additions has increased every single quarter since the company first went public. And so too has new product additions, which is increasing at a rate of 31% year over year, but also had its largest ever quarterly increase in the most recent quarter. And if you consider the effect of year over year compound growth, you will see that in just the last quarter alone, there is an increase of over 1 million, which is close to the entire full year 2020 growth rate. So in real terms, the company is now growing per quarter what it used to grow in an entire year. But now this is very important. They have a lot of new members, but they also have a lot of products that they provide to their members, which gives SoFi the opportunity to cross-sell its products, which has so many benefits. Like they can cross-sell products to existing customers, which means that they achieve additional revenue without spending a cent in additional costs. Think of this from a financial point of view in very simple terms. Revenue goes up while costs come down. This is exactly what you want to see in any type of business, not just in banking, not just in SoFi. Any business that can increase revenue while decreasing costs is onto a winner. This is why lending and financial service products are all up too. The company has posted by far their best returns to date, and it's very likely that this is going to get more impressive each quarter. As the financial services productivity loop continues to create marketing efficiencies, as we can see here with the huge increases each year, we can see the huge growth in financial services and tech platform that now accounts for near 50% of revenue, up from only 24% in 2021, which further demonstrates SoFi's position as a top fintech company. On the financial side, things are just as impressive, with the quarterly adjusted net revenue increasing each year and having just recorded by far their biggest quarterly increase. But just look at the adjusted EBITDA, where there is an incredible improvement. In the most recent earnings report, SoFi reported $186 million. That's a 27% EBITDA margin. Now, going back only 2 years ago, this was $44. And if I remember correctly, the quarter before that was only like $8 or $9. So in the most recent quarter, we have 186 million. I challenge anyone watching this video right now to work out the percentage EBITDA increase from the start of 2022. The numbers here are insane. And this is reflected in the annual 12-month performance figures too. As we can see very clearly here, with huge increases in year-over-year net revenue growth and adjusted EBITDA margin, which has seen SoFi turn into a profitable company for the first time and now looks set to report a significant net income for the full year. Now finally, since the release of the last quarterly earnings report, SoFi has been skyrocketing, and it's worth keeping in mind that the next report will be for full year 2024. So when we look at the full year guidance, we see that management now expect to deliver between 2.54 and 2.55 billion in adjusted net revenues, 640 to 645 million in adjusted EBITDA, and between 204 and 206 million in net income, with EPS between 11 and 12 cents. While tangible book value is to increase by over $1 billion year over year. Considering that SoFi had originally guided for an increase as little as 300 million in 2024, this has truly been an incredible breakthrough year for the company. So is SoFi a millionaire maker? SoFi continues adding customers at a rapid pace, which is driving revenue growth, and as we know, SoFi's earnings projections look very positive. As it says here, the valuation isn't as compelling as it once was, but that might not be a deal breaker for some investors. Now, if you've been following my channel over the past year or so, I have been all over SoFi since early last year, when the stock was only $7. At one point, SoFi dropped to only $6, and I was more bullish than ever. Now, at the time, every Wall Street analyst prediction that I had seen was saying that SoFi was going to drop lower, and all the price targets were bad. But the company fundamentals told a different story. Looking at how the company had been expanding and improving on nearly every metric showed me that SoFi was a company that was seriously undervalued. Now we are into 2025, and SoFi is no longer priced at just $6. SoFi is now $14, but has SoFi reached its fair value, or is the stock still undervalued? Now before I look at this, I want to look at the very latest Wall Street downgrade. The market reopened for the new year, and straight away Keefe, Brunette and Woods were straight in to downgrade SoFi, setting a new price target of only $8. As soon as the market opened, SoFi tanked 10%, but clawed some of that back before the end of the week. Now, I got a real sense of deja vu when I seen this, and lo and behold, I came across this analysis written by Data-Driven Investing. On January 3rd, 2024, almost 1 year to the date from today, KBW downgraded SoFi to a sell. The stock sold off 14% on the downgrade, which at the time was the second worst day of the stock it ever had. Today, it has sold off 10% as of the time of writing. So their analysis must be insightful and accurate for them to hold that much sway, right? Now, I'm not going to go into this analysis in detail as it's quite long, but it is 100% worth checking out. So there is a link to this in the description below. But as we can see from just a few graphs here alone, just how wrong KBW have been about SoFi in 2024. And should not be taken seriously at all. In the conclusion here, we see that KBW's prior analysis for 2024 was absurdly incorrect. In fact, as we've already seen, SoFi has beaten analyst expectations for 14 consecutive quarters. As I already said, check out this analysis by Data-Driven Investing. It's a very good read, and there is a link to this in the description below. Now, there is no doubt that SoFi has taken shareholders on a roller coaster over the past 2 years. At its 52-week low back in August, shares were 75% below their all-time high. However, things have improved dramatically in recent months. The fintech stock has surged 154% since that low. But as we look to the future, can SoFi shares be a millionaire maker? SoFi has been growing at a rapid pace for quite some time. Revenue in Q3, which was September 30th, was up 30% year over year and 156% more than the same period 3 years ago. SoFi's customer base now totals 9.4 million customers. That's 35% higher than it was 12 months ago. And the company is clearly doing something right to expand its user base quickly. As I have said many times, product innovation and cross-selling opportunities are key factors driving the company's expansion. SoFi has been able to attract customer deposits in remarkable fashion. It currently has $24.4 billion in deposits, significantly higher than the $7.3 billion at the end of 2022, just before the regional banking fiasco. This shows just how much trust the customers have in SoFi. Now, as it says here, SoFi had 9.4 million members back at the end of the last quarter. And I want to talk a bit more about this in a moment because there was an announcement in December which makes me very, very bullish. And I will talk about this in just a moment. SoFi turned the corner in 2024. It had previously not been a profitable business, but the company has now reported 4 straight quarters of GAAP net income. Management believes the good times will continue. It predicts that earnings per share will increase from an expected 11 cents for 2024 up to 68 cents by the midpoint of 2026. And then after that, the belief is that the EPS will rise at a 20 to 25% yearly pace. These forecasts are exciting for investors. But there has always been high expectations for SoFi. At the 52-week low, SoFi shares traded at a price-to-sales ratio of 2.8. But now, after the stock has risen significantly, that price-to-sales multiple is about 7. So maybe the stock isn't as compelling as of a buying opportunity as it was a few months ago. But as it says here, if you have a strong conviction that SoFi has a long runway ahead of it to grow its revenue and customer base while also increasing its earnings just as management believes, then perhaps you should consider buying it. And this is what I consider to be a very interesting piece because SoFi's growth is showing no signs of slowing down. And this is very important. This is something that I will analyze very closely in the coming weeks before SoFi's earnings. Of course, if you want to see a SoFi earnings preview, then drop a comment below and like this video. Earnings is due, I think it's the 27th of this month. In the middle of December, SoFi announced that they had surpassed the 10 million customer milestone. Now look here again at the numbers from the end of September, where this was 9.37 million. This means that SoFi's new member growth figures was on track for its best quarter to date, or at least very close to it. Which also means that SoFi is set for a record growth of its lending and financial services products, and therefore the best quarterly revenue to date. But guys, what do you think? Is SoFi still a solid investment now for 2025 with the stock at its highest price for 2 years? Or do you think that we should expect a pullback in January similar to each of the past 2 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And just a quick note to everyone that has been asking about the Discord and has joined the Patreon over the past few weeks. Thanks for joining and welcome to the community. Yes, I am planning to have the Discord up and running very soon, hopefully within the next week. But regarding SoFi and other stocks, always do your own due diligence. Remember that I am not a financial advisor, but if you enjoyed this analysis, then please like and subscribe. I hope you make a load of money on this stock. Follow me on Twitter and I'll catch you in the next